All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. No time to chit chat, waste no time. We need to go ahead and get into this review here. And I'm going to cover the stuff that I told you guys I was going to cover in the Facebook group, okay? But pretty much, red day to day. I'm not going to complain. IMPP. I got out just in time, but I was kind of able to put, two and two together to be able to determine that. And, in this video, I want to show you guys pretty much what kind of led me, to make that decision overall, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from and why I show you guys this stuff in the course if you're in there, and why I cover that and why it's important. This is a prime example. As a matter of fact, today itself was a prime example of, everything that I'm about to show you, because market conditions, are changing right now, and we'll go over why and all that good stuff here. Okay, so pretty much there's a few things happening in the market. If you weren't, aware of it or paying attention to it, or if you're just like in the alerts, and if the admins or I don't mention it, you're probably not going to notice it because you're probably not sitting in front of, like CNBC TV and stuff like that all day, which is fine. I mean, we try to throw in those nuggets in there when we can, but I want to kind of cover, all that stuff here with you today, as quickly as I can before I get to, going to do my stuff. Okay. So let's take a look at the trade with IMPP. Pretty much, I posted it in the group for you guys. Um, the crazy thing is, it was on the watch list, and I told you guys why I was gonna look at it, but I woke up late today, man. I was tired. I'm still working on getting that you know, other stuff in the course put together for you guys. But as you can see here, the oil energy hop plays are cooling off, and I told you guys that. And I was saying that it was the one that seemed like it had the most action remaining out of it, and it ended at 449. So if you were up trading in pre-market, congrats to you, because you had option, you had time to get to it. Um, Unfortunately, I didn't. I was tired. I was sleeping, and I got up like a little bit after the run had already happened. So, it did its little thing, does a little cup and handle there, failed to break out. Pulled back again, and then it broke out a little bit more, and it started to rise towards the opening bell, which I kind of figured, because you got to remember, around this time here, more brokers are opening up. So you got to remember, you have other, traders looking at this stuff. Other investors might be looking at it. You have people probably hyping it in chat rooms and things like that. So it's going to have some little bit of movement there. Now, but I told you guys in that, you know, watch list for the morning that, hey, it's cooling off. It's not going to run. And I personally, I should, I knew that myself. So that's why I was able to get out when I got out. The one thing I didn't take into account, which you always should take into account when you're, trading for the day, especially in the morning, is the way the market movement is. And I've said this plenty of times. I don't know why it didn't cross my mind. I guess I was in such a rush just to kind of get things together and get into the market. Um, there was no volume anywhere. You know, it things were light yesterday, and things were light pre-market today until, until what happened later on, which we'll cover here in a second, and why it happened. But market was light. There was a little bit of volume. There was no big percentage gainers. So, you know, I should have paid attention to that a little bit more and realized that, hey, it's not going to be much runners. And I did kind of catch on that just a little bit late. So that's where I kind of made the mistake entering where I entered in at on my trade with IMPP, and that's why I took that loss. So one thing I did recognize, like at the point that I did, decide to, like, okay, this might be a trade to get um, into, what I did realize here was that at this point here, I was kind of already late in the game, and this was too close to the bell for me to want to take that risk. Yeah, it was on a pullback, but I was trying to remember that, hey, what I should have taken into account was that, hey, it's been low movement in the market, so come opening bell, it might not shoot up as much as you think it should. But I didn't take that into account, which made me, it caused me to jump into the trade at a high point. I think I got in like 587. Look at that. Like I got in like near the top, but I was able to quickly recognize that this thing isn't moving, because by the time I got in it and recognized it, I'm like, wait, market was slow, energy and oil and stuff like that is cooling off. Cybersecurity, all that stuff is cooling off right now because of what's going on. They're all probably like at their peak. There's not much movement. Why am I staying in this trade? There's no momentum showing, and level two looked weak. So I'm like, okay, go ahead and just take this loss. I was wrong. I got in wrong. That's just it. You got to be able to admit when you're wrong, guys, when you're day trading. I mean, that's just like textbook 101. If you don't, let your ego get ahead of you. Yeah, I've made a lot of money on IMPP, but I'm okay with taking a loss too. But what if you were in the opposite position? What if you were in the position where you've lost a lot of money on IMPP? You can't take another loss. That's where psychologically is going to mess with you. And you got to practice that, okay? It's okay to be wrong. I mean, you just got to learn from it. But this is why I was, I took my loss today. So I'm not mad. I'm just glad after reviewing my trade, which you all should be doing is reviewing your trade in your journal, and write down, your thoughts, process, what happened, what strategy you were going to do. What I was trying to do here was my ride the wave strategy, and obviously, it wasn't no wave to be ridden. So, I just quickly got out. It wasn't there. I was watching to see if it was going to come back, but it never did. And so I'm like, I'm glad I got out. So I'm okay with that loss. I learned, and my strategy stuck to it. So, I just bought it at the wrong time. I don't like to buy it at the highs, but I did, hoping to just try to ride up a little bit, but no momentum came, and so it got out, and I got out. So that's pretty much how that worked out with IMPP. Now, the reason why that happened is I told you guys last night and on the watch list that market conditions are changing. Um, so let's take for example,